Okay, and now we've got part 4, so. Alright. This is probably like old news to just about everybody at this point because this news came out in like September, pretty much. So, whatever, I still thought it was worth mentioning. Not only did Davy Jones of the Monkees get married again, yeah, I don't know, somebody that's only like 3 years older than me at that, but um, there were all these allegations, thanks to the National Enquirer, yeah, big surprise there, that, like, his new wife's abusive and beats him and all this shit, and it's just like, um, pardon me if I'm wrong, but didn't Davy grow up in, like, a poorer part of England with practically nothing, and he was, like, somewhat of a scrapper when he was growing up? You know, I'm pretty sure he can hold his own, and even though I know he's like a gentleman and respects women and everything, I'm pretty sure if some woman tried to beat the crap out of him, yeah, he'd have no problem hitting back. Just saying. So there's that, and he even recently there was a podcast on some show. I forget what show it was exactly offhand, but it was being linked to practically everywhere in the Monkees fandom. But anyway, somebody finally had the guts to ask he himself about it, and he debunked it. And yeah, he basically said the same thing I just did. That yeah, he hit back, but and says that his new wife, even though I thought she looked taller in pictures, is supposedly only about the same height as him. That oh yeah, I wrangle these horses that are hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and you think I'd have a problem decking a woman like that? I was just like, good point. I hadn't thought of it in quite those terms, but it's a very good point, legit. So it's kind of good to know that it wasn't true, and that his silence for this long wasn't just because he was trying to cover it up or anything, or didn't want to acknowledge it. I don't know how you'd even put it, but yeah, it's just weird. I didn't think it was true even when I read it, because I was just like, why would he be with this chick if she beat him up? I know he's old and he doesn't want to like die alone or anything, but he's not stupid, so good to know. So, other celebrity stuff. Yeah, I'm very iffy about even mentioning this one because I'll probably be hated just for so much as bringing it up, but Liza Minnelli got sued big time by a former chauffeur who was claiming that she forced him into bed with her and was threatening to withhold his paychecks if he didn't have sex with her, all this stuff. It was like the stupidest thing, that she'd beat him up otherwise, and that he eventually got fired because he wouldn't take a 50% pay cut, and all these really ridiculous things. It's just like, that doesn't sound quite right. And, like, it went back and forth, and she kept trying to get it thrown out of court, and they kept bringing it back up for some unknown reason, but everybody was really hush-hush about it, and then, whoop, almost lost my camera. Anyway, yeah, and it was just, like, the strangest thing, and every time there was, like, a news article about it, like, another year would go by, and you'd hear nothing about this, and everybody's kind of like, is this even real? Because, I mean, yeah, nothing ever happened, and it just kept coming up and was like the same article over and over again, year after year, since like 2004. So she finally settled out of court for $100 million. Yeah, I don't know. That was like 4 days before she was going to be ordered to speak in front of the Supreme Court in New York. So, I don't know. Strange situation there, too. I'm thinking the guy pretty much got away with murder. I'm at least hoping that what he's claiming wasn't true, and that she gave him the money just to shut him up and make him go away, but you never know. I mean, it's all weird. It sounds a lot like the whole David Guest crap thing that was going on, but oh, he's got his own thing going on now. Like, I found this completely by accident because somebody mentioned it on Twitter last night. And I was just like, I can't tell if they're joking or is this real. So I looked it up on Google News, and apparently it was real. So David Guest is on some cooking show in England for celebrities. I don't know. I don't live in England, so I'm really not familiar with this program. But He's on there, and he apparently made mashed potatoes and was advised by his cousin Rita, who's a prostitute, to grind up Viagra and mix it in with the potatoes because it would make them stand up taller. Okay, I'm sure I'm not the only one that sees this as, like, incredibly fucking stupid. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you there is no way in hell that could possibly work. I mean, just the physiology of how Viagra works, yeah, there's no way, but I don't know if he said it as a joke, or if he's honestly that dumb to where he believes it and actually did it. But a lot of health officials in England are basically flipping a shit now that he would go on the air and say this when you know there are stupid people out there that just because they heard it on TV, it must be true, and they're gonna go try it, or even just like as a joke or something, try it, and there's all sorts of things that could go wrong with that, obviously. So, it's not a good idea. I would not advise trying it, because you could die, potentially, if you did that, so it's all sorts of bad, and it doesn't surprise me that he of all people would come up with something that stupid. Really now, just why? Why would you even say that? It's ridiculous, but I don't know. Somehow he has a following of fans. He has a fan page on Facebook, which made me laugh because there is, like, serious fans for him in there. I thought it was like a joke page, just like, haha, yeah, I'm a fan of David Guest, sure, and, like, no, there's real people in there. He has, like, concert tour dates and people wanting to meet him. It's just, I so do not get this. It's just like, why is he even still famous? It's ridiculous. I don't get it at all, and pretty much anybody who's heard, like, any of the stories about him will agree that, yeah, it's pretty much ridiculous, and I'm pretty sure with all the other videos he's had pulled, I'm sure he'll probably try and get this pulled too or some shit, but whatever. People are entitled to their opinions. This is America. First Amendment, freedom of speech. There you go, so. And no, I did not just give the finger. That was my ring finger, as you can see, so, meh. What else? Moving right along. Oh yeah. Another thing that happened while I was not updating for whatever reason, just because I'm lazy, soap opera, Guiding Light went off the air. After being on the air for like 80 years or something. Which is crazy. I mean, I grew up watching that shit with my mom, so yeah, that one's a mind blower. It's just like, how can you do that? That was the longest running soap opera in history. And they took it off the air. Just because there wasn't enough viewership. Which, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there were such drastic pay cuts that they had shitty cameras, and it looked like a camcorder and somebody running around with it. It was really difficult to even watch. It was so bad, and that's why I couldn't stand watching it towards the end either, but still, what the hell? I mean, you'd think they'd be able to do something about that other than just take it off the air. So, on the heels of that, I found out earlier this week that, As the World Turns is also going off the air, which is another shocker to me, because it's just like, that's another one that's been on for a really, really long time, and I've grown up around, even though I don't think I can name a single character on it just off the top of my head, being completely realistic here, but it's just one of those things, a sentimentality type of deal, where it's just like, you can't take that off the air, that's been on for forever, that's been on my whole lifetime. Yeah, they can and they are. They're taking that off the air in like mid-September of next year, so if you're attached to it, keep watching it, because you're gonna be cut off pretty soon here, unfortunately, or stop watching it now and not have to deal with the whole loss of it later. I don't know, I don't care, it's your deal, so yeah, so that leaves me pretty much with a grand total of one soap opera to watch, and that would be All My Children. Unfortunately, it pretty much sucks now. They got rid of Bianca, they got rid of Zoe, or Zarf as a lot of people knew him as. And I mean, they brought back Bianca a few times, but yeah, she even stated online that she will not be returning to All My Children. So they may have the character come back, but it won't be Eden Regal, and that's just not the same to me, because it's the fact that she personally played her that made me like the character in the first place. So there's that. I'm pretty sure my soap days are about done.